This is a free sample of the book, The Road to Wrinkled Bedsheets by Cairo Copeland. The first half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/bedsheets. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/bedsheets. Chapter 1. The 4 Steps to Sex. In almost every tactic and procedure with a lure, the best way to hone the craft is to have a repeatable process that can be improved upon to perfection. This works for getting the phone number, asking for the date, taking her on the date, and finally, getting to sex. A systematic approach will always serve you better than just winging it. With many guys, the times they got to sex quickly, they find themselves unable to recall what led to it. She was really into him and it just seemed to happen. All they had to do was just not screw it up. And it's true that many guys are their own worst obstacle when it comes to getting the sex they want. But waiting around for a woman that's into you enough is not a strategy. The strategic and systematic approach I find most optimal is the following. 1. Meet in person and solidify a date. 2. Take her on a short, inexpensive first date that lasts 1 to 2 hours. 3. If she does not come home with you that night, text her the very next day to schedule the second date at your place. 4. She comes to your place, you talk for a bit, then have sex. I find this system not only helpful in increasing the likelihood of the desired outcome, but necessary in creating a relationship with her in which sex is a great part of. Each step of this system has its own system within it as well, but that doesn't make it highly complex or unmanageable. We must be systematic in getting it. Coming out with a desire too soon only makes you look perverted. Coming too late puts you in the friend zone. There is, in fact, an optimal moment to go for the gold, but what's even more optimal is creating that moment for yourself. This system is also very adjustable and adaptable to circumstances. Nothing is carved in stone to the point where you can't make it work for you in a specific case. These 4 steps came together because they were all similarities shared in the sexual experiences of myself and my successful coaching clients. In our experiences, we found that one short date followed by a second date in private led to getting laid the fastest. Sure, you could go for same-day lays, but those usually involve a lot of time spent with the woman right on the spot. It assumes the guy had nothing else going on, and that is not an impression you want to make on her. Other times, same-day lays come about from use of alcohol. Getting her drunk isn't the same as getting her consent, and in today's world, the risk of false accusations of assault exists even without alcohol, so it's best to leave alcohol out entirely. That's another very important point. Just her mere consent isn't enough. What we really want is her enthusiastic consent. None of this book is about tricking her into having sex or any other means of stealing or sneaking your way to it. The objective is to give her the sex that she already wants. The fempowerment mandate pushes the world to believe that women do not want sex. The blue pill pushes the idea that you're unworthy of sex and that she's doing you a favor when you get it. Both of these are the furthest thing from the truth. Women do in fact want sex, just not all the time like you do. They even have an organ that exists for no other purpose than sexual pleasure, the clitoris. And it contains more nerves in it than the entirety of your genitals. While your desire comes and goes within minutes of the day, hers comes and goes within days of the month, usually in accordance with her ovulatory cycle. Further, when you really think about the act of sex, in most cases, the man will be doing all the work. All she does is lay back, spread her legs, and enjoy his efforts. I'm not talking about the dispassionate starfish sex that housewives give to husbands as a result of his provisions and chore fulfillment. Even when she's highly turned on and initiating the sex, she often wants you on top. So in most cases, she gets more pleasure out of the experience than you. The blue pill only has you convinced of the opposite because the fempowerment mandate has blared so loudly that women are not to do anything for the express pleasure of a man. We all know that men want sex more. So for them to give you this one thing they've been mandated to deny creates the illusion that it's her sacrifice for your favor. These social imperatives are part of the reason why the systematic approach works so well. Women are conditioned to not put out on the first date, so waiting until the second one to make a move works in your favor. However, do not be fooled into thinking that making her wait for you to make a move for it is going to help you indefinitely. There is a very clear window of time when going for it that is optimal, and missing this window of time to strike while the iron is hot will cost you. If you find yourself waiting 5 or 7 dates and still have not gotten to sex, it's likely never to happen. And very important rule to remember is that women who make you wait for sex do so because they aren't really enthusiastic about having sex with you. The standard set earlier was to have her enthusiastic consent. If she's making you wait, it's because she's not turned on enough by you. Thus, you are subject to her rules about waiting. These rules only apply to simps. They break these rules for an alluring man they can't resist. So you must not waste your time past the 3rd date. Any woman that has not put out for you by then either never will or will only give you sex that's not worth the wait. Dispassionate starfish sex that a wife may give to her plow horse husband, whom she uses like an ATM. If a woman denies you after date 3, it's a sign that you need to cut your losses and move on. If you were Brad Pitt, would she make you wait? Of course not. But because you are you, she is in fact rejecting you. She views sex with you as an act where you are taking something from her. By that same token, her garnering attention from you while not giving you the sex you want is her taking something from you. Time. You need to put a premium on your non-sexual attention with women. You do not exist in this world to be their best friends, therapists, emotional tampons, ATMs, or activity partners. There is one very clear thing that you can help a woman with and be of service to with: sex. Making that very clear to yourself first will make it easier for it to be clearly understood by the women you seek. There are, however, some leeway factors involved in time. If you have had 3 dates with the same woman and still haven't gotten full sex yet, but things are getting pretty sexual and naughty, then you don't need to drop her. If private parts are being touched, you're on the road to wrinkled bedsheets. Sometimes there's also extra time that needs to be allowed to account for greater age differences between you and her. A 40-year-old guy is going to have to wait longer to have sex with a 23-year-old girl than a 23-year-old guy would. Extra time will be needed to develop a comfort level suitable for her. But all things being equal, if after the 3rd date there's no action, nor are things sexually progressing, drop her. You're not going to miss out on anything. Many guys falsely believe that if they just spend a little more time with her, showing her what a great guy they are, that will make the difference and bridge the gap in her comfort level enough to have sex. This is never, ever true. Women decide very quickly if you're even a potential sex partner. It's not much different from the male mind when you see a woman and quickly evaluate whether you'd like to see her naked or not. The Tinder, Bumble, swipe left or right style of mate evaluation goes on in women's heads 24/7. They want sex too, just not all the time. If she is adamant about waiting for a 7th date and you agree, you are setting yourself up for failure. What you are telling her is that you will surrender the frame to her and bend to her will. The more you readily comply with her wishes, the less sex appeal you have to her. She believes that if you don't follow her orders, it's because you don't have to. It's because you have other options with women. But if you do, it tells her that you have no other options. From that, she deduces that no other women want you, therefore, you're a low-value male. These are the types of guys she can use as meal tickets, orbiter simps for attention, and plow horse husbands. She will come to expect your compliance. Do not be manipulated by the possibility of sex. If she's holding out past 3 dates but still wants more dates, there's something very wrong, and it could be any of the following. She wants you in the friend zone. She's a virgin. She's been sexually abused. Hasn't had sex in a while. Had a recent abortion. Has an STI. Is extremely religious. She's a gold digger. She just left a bad relationship and still has beef with men. Just watched a friend go through a divorce. Or she's sleeping with another guy. In all these scenarios, the woman is never worth the trouble. Sex is never worth the wait from a woman that makes you wait for it. Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book, The Road to Wrinkled Bedsheets by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/bedsheets. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/bedsheets.